Hi, my name is Danielle Cunningham, and this is called Best Me Giving My Best Shot. 3 years ago, my husband and I moved down to Punta Gorda, Florida, and we absolutely fell in love with the place. We came down to visit my grandparents, and we fell in love with it from the time we very stepped foot in the town. Year after year, we kept coming back and taking our vacation time just to come to Punta Gorda. So we went back home and we decided that we were actually going to move down here. So we quit. We were both in the military and decided to quit our careers in the military to be free and to move down to Florida. Um, Suddenly, we started noticing more and more homeless people. And me and my husband, we were thinking to ourselves, why is there more and more? Like, what is going on? The town is full of, I would say, an older generation. And we were absolutely just stunned when we seen the homeless population continue to increase. So we started kind of doing like a little bit of an investigation on our own. And while we would pass out, a few dollars here and there to individuals, we were kind of eh, gathering all the information that we could. We would talk to them for a little bit, and we found out that the biggest reason that people were homeless were unfortunately caused from drugs or alcohol. And we wondered, why are people not getting help? Um, and that actually, it all came down to shame. People were ashamed of what they were doing because in our society, it is not considered okay to be doing drugs or abusing alcohol. So a lot of people didn't feel comfortable coming out and expressing their problems. And before they knew it, everything had just piled on, piled on, piled on, and they were in the unfortunate situation that they were. After thinking about this for a while, me and my husband came home and we said, you know, with all these filters around here, we've got, we have so much internet at our disposal. So, for example, we have Zoom backgrounds. That's used for business people all over the place. They can be sitting in their messy house with crazy posters all behind them, and they can put on this screensaver right here that I'm circling. They can put that on, and all you can see is their face and their shoulders, and they're in a beach scene. Which we're not going to say it's a bad use. It's a good use. I mean, for people that, business settings, and it's an okay use. We'll say that. We'll give it the benefit of the doubt. But then we're gonna move on. Let's move on below. Here, we've got dating websites. We've got dating websites, and women, men, they're trying to make themselves look more beautiful, more handsome than they are, and that is not a good use for this for the internet that we have these days. We also have over here, we have Snapchats. These can be right off your phone. I mean, and they cause filters that make you look like animals, that put makeup on you, that make your eyes look big, that make your lips look big. We have just so many tools at the tips, at our fingertips. Um, so we were thinking, these tools, none of them are really being used for good things. And we were trying to think, what could these tools really be used for? And after we had thought about it for a while, we said, what about truly anonymous? This is not, I mean, a lot of the people that feel shame, they don't want to go to an AA meeting because you're sitting in front of everybody and most of them are strangers and you're telling these strangers all of your problems, your issues, and how you think that you're messed up. I mean, nobody wants to do that. So why not put those good filters to use and actually create an app that people can go, they can alter, their faces, their backgrounds, their voices, and they can actually use all of those filters and put it into a good use where they can actually talk about their feelings and if they're about to relapse, they can have a chat to go on and talk to people and have somebody there for them. At the same time, making it anonymous, it takes that shame and the guilt away because you're not knowing that true person. Obviously, if they would want to later down the line, once they kind of get over that anxiety and that fear, if they want to, they don't have to be anonymous, but it is good to give them that option. The whole goal of this is bringing people together and helping each other. Um, we don't want to see homeless people on our streets. We don't want to see people addicted to drugs. Our goal is to help them. How do we get them help? How do we do this? Getting to know each individual, their strengths and their weaknesses. This is really important. Just like in business, getting to know each of your employees to make them, be able to work better for the company and for you is very important. It's also important in this feature, in this app. Um, get to know the individuals, know what makes them tick, know what makes them get excited about doing something. You can find out, are people goal oriented? One person may be and the other person may not be. But that's the importance of getting to know each and one of these people so that we can set goals and expectations for them. I think what was really cool was the SMART method. So we're going to set specific goals so that we know and they know what is expected of them. We can measure it. For each goal, we'll come up with a measuring tool. If it's, make sure you're talking to people and getting help and sharing your feelings, okay, we can measure that by saying, well, for the first week, let's start off with attending 3 sessions, 3 chats. So that's something that we can measure. We also want to make sure that it is achievable. We're not going to tell them, hey, their very first time trying to stay sober, hey, let's stay sober for 5 years straight. We know that people relapse, and we know that that's not really an achievable goal to 99% of the population. So we need to make it achievable so that they can actually meet those goals. It also has to be relevant. Otherwise, it would be no point in setting the goal for them. Something that would be crazy would be make sure you clean your house every single day. That has nothing to do with them staying sober. So we want to make sure it's relevant to them staying sober and taking care of themselves. And we also want to put time bound on there. We're going to make sure that they're following up on it. We're going to get them a specific time to follow. We're giving them a bunch of tools to kind of help them achieve their goals. And last but not least, we're going to follow up with them. If we don't follow up with them, we don't know if they're continuing to do it. And that kind of gives them the wrong impression that we really don't care if we're not going to follow up. And all of this leads us to this wonderful, very, very windy, unpredictable road to eventually a sober life. So this was an absolute pleasure to do. And I am really hoping we can kind of start this somehow and start helping people. But The app is gonna be called Best Me, Giving My Best Shot. Hope you enjoyed.